Are you wondering how to create a strong, lasting romantic relationship? Are you sick of flings, hookups, and Tinder dates that go nowhere? Well, I'm going to tell you the one question that you'll need to start asking that will make your relationship better starting right now. Hey guys, I'm author and relationship coach Brad Browning. I've helped thousands across the globe build the love life they want with the tools that they have. Now, there's no miracle cures here, just tested and proven advice that takes the guesswork out of dating. So with that in mind, let's get right into it. Here's the single question that will make your relationship better. What do you want? At the end of the day, this is the only question that matters in a relationship and in life. What makes life worth living, and how are you going to go out there and get it? And here's the important part, so listen up. The person you're asking this question to isn't your partner, it's yourself. Let me explain. I find that one of the biggest problems in relationships today is unmet expectations. Of course, there's the obvious problem. Our partners don't always live up to the expectations that we have of them, and vice versa. But let's take a step back because, believe it or not, most relationships don't even make it to this point. Most relationships fall apart because we don't actually understand our own expectations. How can we expect our partner to give us what we want if we don't even know what that is? So over the course of this video, I'm going to do my best to help you figure out what you want and how to bring that information to your relationship in a constructive way. So how do you know what you want? Asking yourself the question is just the first step. You're going to need to go a little deeper if you want it to become clear. So first, let's look at your relationship as it currently is. Chances are your partner is already giving you many of the things that you want, or you wouldn't be together. Now, this can be everything from unconditional love, emotional support, a shoulder to cry on, physical touch, and the list goes on. Basically, make a list of all the things that you get from your partner, the things that would be missing if they were suddenly ripped from your life. And it's important to take note of these benefits. Gratitude is especially important when you're looking to improve your lot in life. You need to appreciate what you have before you can ask for more. Next, let's look at the things that you want, but you aren't getting. So a good way to find these out is to look at recent conflicts in your relationship and work backwards from there. So think about the last fight that you had. Typically, we fight about stupid small stuff because it's easier than fighting about what's really going on. So for example, if it was over them not doing a specific chore, then chances are what you're really mad at is feeling like you're not a priority. If the problem was them interrupting you when they talk, or when you talk, I should say, you're really mad that they aren't actually listening to you at all. Some of these wants may include a deeper level of intimacy, someone you can really trust and rely on no matter what, or the ability to really be yourself without fear of being judged. Now, if you're having trouble sorting out your real wants and needs from this exercise, don't worry. It can be difficult to access these feelings, but it gets easier with practice. Deep down, you already know what you need. You just need to tap into it. But that's just step one. It's important to talk about your feelings, check in with the relationship, and make an effort to understand one another better. But more important than that is taking action, putting your money where your mouth is. So think of it this way. You can have a perfect relationship with little conversation. Anyone with a pet knows this. You provide each other with companionship, you look out for one another, and you take care of one another, all without ever speaking the same language. But you cannot have a relationship without action. You need to spend time together. You need to make the relationship a priority, and you need to take care of one another. What form that care takes depends on you. Are you having trouble in your relationship? Are you wondering how to create desire that lasts and intimacy that's more than skin deep? Well, go to romancebrad.com now to check out my brand new video presentation. I'll share with you the 3 pillars of every lasting romantic relationship. That's romancebrad.com. Okay, and back to it. Now that you know what you want, how do you go about getting it? Now, I'm going to ask you to do something radical. Instead of going to your partner with a list of demands and insisting that they meet them or it's over, I want you to do the opposite. I want you to begin to give your partner the things that you yourself want. I call this principle, ask less, give more. Now, this has several benefits to your relationship. It shows them that you care, it sets an example, and it lets you experience what these things cost you emotionally and physically so that you really appreciate them when you receive them in return. So what does this look like in practice? Well, here's an example from my client who we'll call Robbie. Now, Robbie is a mail carrier by trade, but in his heart, he's a bass guitarist. Robbie spends day and night thinking about music and pursuing it in his spare time. And he's in a trio with some other musicians, and he's really making a go of it. They play at the Flying Otter every Friday night. But his girlfriend, Carrie, never took him seriously in that department. She'd always get angry at him for going to band practice, and she'd make little comments that showed him that she didn't respect his music. Now, this really upset Robbie and made him question his whole relationship. And when he came to me, he was truly at wit's end and he didn't know what to do. So I told him about my ask less, do more system, and we started thinking about how he could start to take action in order to make this relationship work. It turned out that Carrie had an ambition of her own. She loved painting. She'd produce small watercolors which she sold out of local coffee shops. And when I asked Robbie if he ever supported her art, he really realized his mistake. He'd always appreciated the work she did, but he'd never felt compelled to really ask her about that side of her life. In fact, Robbie realized that he had at times even belittled her for doing what she loved. So Robbie began to take a real interest in Carrie's art. Just a little at first, a positive comment here and there. Robbie said that he wished she would put up some of her pictures around the house. And pretty soon, he was helping her promote her art online, and she was actually able to quit her job and work on her art full-time. Now, at the same time, Robbie noticed something else start to happen in his relationship. Something he'd always wanted. Carrie stopped making negative comments about his music. She actually started showing up to his band's shows on Friday nights and singing along in the front row. In the end, Robbie got what he wanted without ever even having to ask for it. It just took figuring out what was important to change everything. So for your relationship, this is probably going to look a little different, but the impact can be just as powerful. When you give your partner what they want, they start to give it back to you in return. It really is that simple. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.